back from the garden center and I got tons of amazing things. I had some herbs, hollyhocks for behind the garage, a whole bunch of petunias and supertunias and calbriacola, some straw flowers and marigolds, tomatoes, some different salvias, begonias, some hyacinth bean vines, lantana, and even have more petunias, some of the coleus and vinca, and then I got an extra bag of organic planting soil, and I even found a few new, well, not new, definitely not new, a few new to me, but weathered and old planters, and I got this great standing wash basin, because as you can see, we have these necessary but ugly pipes on the side of the house that vent the house and the dryer and all of those things. So my hope is to have this stand in front of it now with its big basins planted up, and I have some trees that I'm going to bring out for the summer and then plant around it, and hopefully it'll fill in this area really nicely so you don't have to look at those vents all the time while you're outside. Okay, so I'm going to get started now. And as you can plainly see, these bins aren't in that great of shape, but since I'm just going to be pounding holes in them for planters, I definitely don't care. I wouldn't recommend doing this, obviously, if you find one that's in pristine condition, but I don't feel bad doing this with one that isn't. So I'm just going to take an old nail, big old nail, and hammer and go in a few spots around. There's a couple of weak spots, but I need some drainage holes, so I'm going to do that to both of these bins so that I can set them up. So just go around in a circle pattern, kind of working my way out, and then skipping a couple of these natural grooves that help space it out, and then staggering in between so that you get a nice even coverage all around. This is one that I have a galvanized tub that will go out front to disguise where we have to have our sewage access. So a lot of these things, you know, that you can't plant over or cover up because they need to be there for access, is a great place to put a cool planter and kind of distract from it or hide it altogether if you can. So then I'm going to get some leaves, and I like to put a layer of leaf mulch in the bottom, and then I will fill it up with soil and get planting. This one I'll probably do everything in place just because they get really heavy after you put a bunch of soil in them. So I'm going to move them around to their locations and take you with me. So I've had this banana plant since last year. I had it in a different pot. It didn't do quite as well as I had hoped, but I took it inside and overwintered it, and it's done really well. It's put out a bunch of different leaves. So I'm hoping to add it here in the back, and I might go get something else. I'm not sure I want to put the other little tree that I have in here because they don't really kind of have the same vibe. And then I have a bunch of semi-shade loving plants to put in around them to kind of decorate it up and add some pops of color and hide up these ugly Okay, so now I have my banana tree in there, and in the one beside it I planted some coleus, which will fill in with their beautiful tropical foliage. They love shade to sun to part shade, so it'll be great here. This gets mostly shade throughout the day, but it will get some sun toward the end of the day. And then I have a bunch of New Guinea impatiens in here in bright colors. I believe they were called like Tropical Sunset and Lipstick, and I think those will be great accents and add to the tropical feel in this little corner of the garden, and hopefully it'll fill in and kind of detract from some of those ugly pipes in here. Okay, thanks.